Over the last few weeks, the No to AV campaign has been releasing a lot of so-called information about AV designed to try and make you, voters, vote no in the referendum. However, a lot of this information is wrong, ranging from lies to fabrications to gross exaggerations. I could explain this to you myself. However, I believe it would be far more powerful if I show this next piece of footage, Baroness Warsi trying to defend some of these terrible claims in a debate on live TV.
The person who wins is not necessarily the person who got the first vote.
And they've got AV in Australia, haven't they?
They have, and what happened
and
when...
do you know how often it happens in Australia, that the person who doesn't come first in the first round wins?
Well, Adam, are you going to let me answer the question? Let me tell you what happens in Australia. When they bought in the AV system...
I've asked you what happens in Australia.
Well, let me tell you what happens in Australia. When they bought in AV, they actually had a situation where voter turnout went down, and then they had to bring in compulsory voting. And in Australia, 6 out of 10 people want to go back to the system that we have.
Right, thank you.
Now, we
Perhaps
have a
now
system...
you'll answer my question about Australia, where you accept they have an AV system.
Yes.
How often does the candidate who is not coming first in the first round not win, not go on to win? I.e., how often does your poster happen? Do you know?
Yeah, well, they could. I'll give you the details. I mean, I couldn't give you the detail right now.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of fact. It's been recorded by academic. How often do you think it happens?
Well, you tell me.
No, you tell me.
Well, I'm telling you, it is something that does happen.
You put up this poster saying that the person who comes first doesn't come first. I'm asking you, under AV in Australia, how often it happens where they have an AV system? I'm
telling you that under AV there are people who do not get more votes than everybody else first time round who go on to win.
How often does it happen?
And that is a system which is confusing and is unfair.
No. You're saying that AV will distort the results. I'm saying if you have a list of candidates and one candidate has the most votes in the first round, how often does that candidate not go on to win, which is your claim? That is your accusation against the system.
I will be able to tell, I can go away and I can tell you how often, in which elections, at which level, in which state, various candidates have won.
I'll tell you, I'll tell you, in most cases it's under 5% in most of the elections they've had. And actually in Australia, where they've had an AV system, another one of your claims is that they go on and they have coalition governments, and they've had very few coalition governments in Australia, so that's not true either.
Well, Adam, let me tell you something very clearly.
No, I just think you're insulting the voters. I don't care how people vote, but you are insulting.
I was actually a part of a much larger interview, which if you're interested, I urge you to go on YouTube and try and find. However, it was the most powerful piece, which is why I've chosen to show it to you. Another one of the many lies that the No to AV campaign has been spreading is that AV will allow the BNP to have more power in the British political system. However, this is not true, as AV will actually make it far less likely that the BNP will get in. If you don't believe me, please follow the link in this video's description, which will take you to the BNP's own homepage, where Nick Griffin himself is urging all BNP supporters to go out on May the 5th and vote no in the referendum, because he knows, like me, that AV will make it far less likely that he and his extremists will be able to get in. If you vote no to AV, you are voting for Nick Griffin and his BNP thugs. Please go out on May the 5th and make a difference and vote yes. You have the power.